teeny tiny setup.
Yes,
It's a teeny setup, but I mean, we're here. We're here. We're doing it. Do you want to monitor? You want to hear yourself?
Should we do that?
Guys, this is Sam Linares. I'm a real estate agent, business owner. Been in real estate for a good while now, and yeah, we just wanted to start a podcast. Talk a little bit about life, a little bit about real estate, business, just a little bit about everything. And today's topic will be, dumb things that we've spent money on. We're gonna have our first guest in the podcast, and the first podcast ever. Um, so yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about our guest, what they do for a living, and what are dumb things have they spent money on, or maybe they see that people spend money on. I know that I have some major regrets on money, but that's how it goes. We live and we learn. So yeah, join us. We have Lazaro here, our
Hi,
guest
guys.
for our podcast. Let's give him a round of applause real quick. Man, it's a new toy. We're messing with it, so it's cool.
That's
Yeah,
really
so
cool.
like I said earlier, I've been a business owner for a good while now, and I've been in real estate for like 11 years. And through the
Wow.
years, I run into people, or I see people spend money on, maybe I've been spending money on dumb stuff sometimes, like. But Lazaro, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what's
Yeah.
going on with you.
Well, I'm Lazaro. I'm here from Houston, Texas. I'm a real estate agent here also in Texas. And I've been in the industry going on 3 years now.
3 years.
We're always here to help families. And I think kind of piggyback on what he was saying, I think sometimes we do spend, money on things that are probably unnecessary because it's an impulse. But had we known, have some families know or people know, right, like how it's not just unaffordable or super crazy to get into a home, especially during the tax season.
Yeah.
When you're getting ready to get all this money, you're like, oh my God, what do I do with it? With some of that money, maybe not all, maybe all, but you could get into a house and still have the same payment as it would be to be in a rent, or even less, guys. Honestly, rents have gone up so high
Mm-hmm.
that it doesn't even make sense. There used to be a time where you'd be like, okay, well, I'm gonna rent, but I'm saved $600-700 more than buying a house. It's about the same now.
Yeah.
It's
I think sometimes
literally
it's even
insane.
more expensive to rent.
Yeah, it is now to just rent, and then they'll be like, okay, well, it's like 1,500, and then you have like the valet trash and parking and all this. When you
Yeah.
add it, you're paying like 2,000 plus.
Yeah.
Which is insane. So
Yeah, I think that.
instead of trying to get like a jet ski or a Peloton and a membership
Yeah,
and
but
all of that, that could pay for your house.
but let's talk about it a different way. What
Yeah.
what have you spent money on that you were like, man, that was definitely not something that I should have, or
I think on trips, I don't know how to budget for trips too well.
But okay, hear me out. I think that trips are experiences, right?
They
Like I think that those are things that you can spend or splurge on a little bit, as long as you don't max out your credit card.
I do though. My issue is when I'm out there and I'm outside and we're drinking, it's
Yeah.
like
whenever I'm
whatever
drinking,
I want, like however I want it. I don't tell myself no.
Yeah, whenever
I
I'm
come in
drinking and
trouble.
on a trip, I just think that I'm in a higher tax bracket. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's
bro,
like,
whatever.
whatever.
Like I'll get it.
Like the mindset is like, we'll take care of this later. Here's the Amex. How much is it? It's like, oh, it's $50 a glass of wine. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can ask. Bring me 3.
Yeah, I know. I think that's one of the things. Whenever you're on a trip, you're like, man, whatever, I'll spend it. But like when you're here and at home, you're like, man, I would never spend like $20 on a drink.
Yeah,
But
no, but when you're in the heat in the moment, you do just that. I mean, I think that so I'm getting a little bit better of that, and definitely, I became a homeowner very early on.
Right.
So then you could go really crazy on furniture and upgrades to the home. So I've done some really
yeah,
insane stuff that I'm like, well, I could have gone without that.
yeah, I think that like as long as like you get some use out of
Yeah.
it, right? That would be cool. But I feel like sometimes we spend a little too much on the impulse buy. I think that furniture. Now
Definitely.
that you say it, it's like you can go off Facebook Market and
Yeah.
find something way cheap. versus going to a furniture store and then you're gonna spend thousands of
thousands of
dollars.
dollars, and then there's always like that one little salesman's like, "Well, this would look nice with this color," and then they like, do this budget, and you walk out with like a $12,000 bill plus whatever, and you're like, "Well, I could have just bought a smaller couch and been fine."
I think that's a big thing that I spent money on. It was like furniture, and then you finance it. So it's kind of like sometimes you'll have like 0% financing,
Yeah.
which I think that makes sense. But I think that I could have gone,
Yeah,
to a Facebook Market and found exactly what I wanted. And then not to throw shade, right? But like where I bought my
that's what everybody says when they're about to do
but to throw
something.
shade, yeah,
It's
like. So like I ordered my furniture from this furniture spot. It's really popular here in
Mhm.
town, and they didn't have the table that I wanted. Right, I wanted a round table, and they've sent me an oval table.
Yeah.
And then I was like fighting with them for like months. Like, hey, I wanted a round table, not an oval, because it's like super awkward. And they're like, nope, sorry, that's what you got.
You got what you got.
And then I spent like way more than I was budgeting for,
Yeah.
but that's something that
I think it does happen. I know going on getting your house once you get it, it is a really nice experience. Like to have your own space and be like, okay, like I'm gonna make it my own. But it's easy to fall into like the emotions of
Mhm.
buying things to make your own and whatnot, and you could go very insane.
Yeah.
And then my thing is like I found out really cool stuff that I probably should not be like buying, but like I want that and be like really cool like outdoor heaters and furniture for the outdoors and like
Do you spend a lot of time outdoors?
Yeah, I do. I'm a little patio.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll smoke a cigar, like when I'm
Yeah.
entertaining people want to like sit out there. When it's nice out, it's been kind of nasty lately.
Yeah, it's been too cold.
So it's been good. Lately my new obsession has been I got into smoking. So I
Smoking.
have an offset smoker, and I want to get a
Nice.
pellet smoker next.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that those things you can spend money on because
Yeah.
you'll get your return out of it. If you get some enjoyment out of it, I think that's
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. But if you go and you buy a Peloton, and you're paying for the subscription, and let's be honest, how many times are you
Yeah,
gonna
no one
use
uses
it?
it.
Unless you're like very disciplined, and you know that you're gonna use it, then it makes sense, right? Like,
Peloton has a thing on their page, so you can kind of like go and see how much like their subscription and system cost versus how much you pay on the gym and how far the gym is from you and how many times you go a month. I did it, and it was kind of funny, right? Because they're trying to sell you on the Peloton.
Mhm.
The Peloton system and subscription was way more expensive
then
than like
going
my
to the gym.
lifetime subscription. That's like over $100. So
I saw a TikTok on that recently where it was kind of like, okay, like if you go to a certain type of class based gym membership or whatever, like F45 or like the Pilates and this and that, they're like, you're probably better off getting a lifetime fitness
it's the
membership
same thing,
because like you have a bunch of classes to go to
on
there,
top of the
right?
regular gym and everything else.
And
It's
a
not like
regular
us.
gym, and that's really cool. But what are the things that you think that you should have bought, earlier on that could have been an investment? Like, would you have bought a Labubu like before
No,
they were
I
a
pride
thing?
myself in being one of those people that did not buy one of those Labubus and fell into
What about
that.
it?
Man, that's
NFTs?
insane.
Did you buy any of those crazy like NFTs with the
No,
crazy monkeys and all those things?
I did
You
not.
didn't.
I did not get into any of that. I don't think I would have bought it. Would have been more like adult, like would have been like investments and
Yeah,
more stocks and things like
stocks.
that. But then it's like
GameStop. Whenever it was
that would have been
popular.
good.
Man, it's crazy, right? Like I used to trade a lot. And the one big thing that I'm like, man, I should have held on was like I had Moderna and I bought Moderna. Like if you don't know, it's like the ones that developed, one of the COVID
Yeah, I
vaccines.
remember.
Dude, I bought it at like $7, and it went up to like $300,
And then
$350. I had like
on.
a couple grand worth of it at 17, like at $7. Dude, I sold it at like $15. Like
Oh
I
my
sold
God.
way too early, and then like it blew up,
Dude,
and I was like, man,
I could hit you for that. I don't hurt my feelings.
But I mean, I just didn't know, I just didn't know what was gonna happen, and like it was just crazy times. And then I think it was just young me, but yeah, I think that's one of the things that I'm honestly, for me, I would have bought a house earlier. Like I think that I spent too much money on rent, living in a like badass apartment for a good while. Like for me, it was like important to live in a nicer
Right.
neighborhood,
Yeah.
right? Like because of like I don't know really like I think I was just trying to fit in or be cool or whatever, and I spent a lot of money on
I think
rent.
sometimes you have to get out of your system, just like do that,
Like
and
have
be
a
done.
badass apartment. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like my apartment was badass.
But I mean, I definitely buy the house early on.
Yeah,
It's a little scary, Some people, a lot of people tell me, like, "Oh, like I don't want to do that. 'Cause, like, what if like something breaks and like I don't have someone to call?" But I'm like, yeah, but like, how many times
yeah.
does something actually go wrong, in a house?
Or you
It
could
depends.
be, yeah, you could um be like stuck in a hole if you don't hire the right
Yeah,
agent.
of course. If you really get into the wrong house, it's actually a true money pit. That's not just what it's supposed to be. If you overprice yourself, you can actually become house poor.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that neither.
Yeah,
But
I think that house poor is a thing that I understand now as a homeowner, because yes, yeah, you have your monthly payment, right? But you
Mhm.
also have your bills. You have your utility bills. You have your HOA dues,
yeah, the maintenance and
your
everything.
mud taxes too. So I think that those are things that like as a as a new buyer, as a first time home buyer, it's things that you need to take into
Yeah.
consideration. And I think also like what do you think about like the new construction? Whenever you go in and you're paying taxes on the land,
I
and
mean, I
then
think they should have been more upfront about it. I mean, it's definitely becoming an issue. There's a
yeah,
lot of lawsuits around that.
yeah,
But if it's done right and actually appropriately, attach how much you have to have an escrow for the actual house
house. Yeah.
when it's updated on the tax records, then it could be a pretty good way to get into a
How do
home,
you
especially.
explain to somebody that doesn't know anything about homes or yeah, but real estate in general? Like, how do you explain that? Um, what I just said, about the homes, going paying taxes on the lot versus the home as a new
Mhm.
construction. Because honestly, like I think that new construction they have pretty good deals,
Of
right?
course,
Like,
yeah, they
but
do.
how do you explain that to a client?
I just tell them, look, like you're buying a brand new home, right? It's so new that the tax district doesn't know it's still here.
Hmm.
So right now they're taxing you. They're making this monthly on a $40,000 lot, but the tax record hasn't updated. Doesn't know that there's actually a $250,000 house here.
Right.
So when it updates, it might potentially be 300,000. You have to pay taxes on that. So what we have to do is, if you have a good, of course, loan officer as well, because the whole team matters,
Right.
is actually equate, equate for that and make sure that it's there and you have enough in escrow and that your payment actually reflects that, so you don't have a shock of get the letter in the mail an year later, be like, hey, surprise, your monthly is going to go up $700
Yeah.
because now there's a huge deficiency
Yeah.
on your escrow account.
Yeah. I think
So you
that
have
that's
to,
big.
you have to like explain that to them and let them know what they're walking into. And I've done it. I do it with my clients all the time. I think as long as people know what they're getting themselves into, that those numbers that they're seeing now, what they're trying to sell them on, is not what it's going to be, and you future proof them. Where it's like, this is what it's going to be in the future, just so
Mhm.
you're aware. There's not that shocker. We don't want to, like. I think at the end of the day, yeah, we are professionals. We're here to sell and get you into a home, but we also want to make sure that you understand what you're doing. You understand what you're getting
Yeah.
yourself into, and you're making the right decision for yourself. Because what good does it do that we have someone buy a house and then a year later they can't afford the home
Right.
and they
And
get
they lose
themselves
it.
into trouble? Like, that's
Right.
not good. It's not a good feeling for us. We don't want to see that happen to anybody.
Yeah. No, I think that's really important, and I think that there's a lot of misunderstanding or miscommunication in that
Yeah.
end. But do you always think that real estate is a safe investment 100% of the time, or do you think that there's times when that it's not a good investment?
I mean, there's times it's better than others. Yeah, I just think long term real estate is a safe investment. It's something that you leave to your kids, your grandkids, when you're not
Right.
here. It's the fastest, not fastest, but it's the safest, most traditional way of building wealth,
Right.
especially within a family. Long term, now if you're gonna buy a house and think you're gonna put it right back in the market the next month and make hundreds of thousands, then that's probably not
Hmm.
the best way to go about it. It's not that kind of investment, but it's a safer investment. We all have to live somewhere, right? We
Right.
all have to pay to live
Pay to live.
somewhere. At the end of the day, like, do you want to pay someone else's mortgage? Because that apartment complex has a bigger mortgage, but it's a
Hmm.
mortgage. You just pay your own, and when you're ready to sell, have to sell. You will most likely than not get some money back.
Right.
and have something that will allow you to, do whatever you need to do in life, whether that's move, whether that's take care of something else. And you can't do that with an apartment. You just pay into it and it goes
And
to
you never
whoever.
see it, and
You
you
never
actually
see it
don't
again.
even get your deposit back most of the time.
Yeah, they will fight you on that every time. I
Yeah,
think we all
man, that's
experienced that.
crazy. I had a an apartment that I leased, and it had like stained concrete
Hmm.
in the bottom, and I got a dog, right? But I put a mat under the kennel,
Yeah,
and they found out that I had a dog, obviously, but I had a an emotional support
yeah,
certificate and everything like that, so they couldn't charge me for those things, right? But they didn't want to give me my deposit back, and they said that I had an outstanding balance when it was stained concrete.
everybody knows
Like
that.
it was like,
Yeah,
but they put it on my credit, dude. Like they put it on my credit, and
yeah.
I had a collection for like $1,000,
Jesus Christ! Everybody
and
knows apartment complexes. If they breathe wrong that morning, they're gonna just mess with
yeah.
you. It's insane.
I think that is just the part of that, that you were talking about, like paying somebody else's mortgage, right? Like it's their house, it's their investment,
Yeah,
and then you're paying for it, and then they don't want to pay what, like the scratches and this and that you.
even if it's not there, they want to keep all they can. And I get it. They want to maximize whatever money they're making out of you and the apartment.
Right.
And it also like living in an apartment or someone else's property that's not yours, and it reduces like what you can do. You can't have a pet. If you have a pet, you have to pay for it.
Mhm.
It's just it makes it so much more just all these issues and
Like,
annoyances.
I mean, so like I have a friend, right? And again, it's not always that you can just have whatever pet, right? Whenever you own a house, like my friend had a pig, a pet pig,
Well, I mean,
and then the HOA came and was like, "No, like you can't
I
have
mean that
that."
is a little
But
extreme.
haven't you seen the little cute pigs?
Not really.
You wouldn't have a pig.
No,
I think that would
I
be like.
think I was referring more to like if you want to have a German Shepherd, they don't tell you anything
What about a monkey? Do you think a monkey would be cool?
I think your friend should have gone ahead and bought himself a farm, and then he could have whatever he wants.
But it's a pet. I think you could probably
I mean,
register it as an emotional
I could go
support
get a
animal.
tiger and call it a pet, but would that be the safest thing to do?
Probably not.
But you can do a lot of things. But if you want to be more traditional and mainstream, just having a bigger animal.
A bigger animal. Man, the
Um,
other day I went to the vet, and they had this guy had a huge Great Dane.
yeah,
Dude, it was the
they're
most
big.
beautiful dog I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Dude, but standing up, it was just like this big.
Yeah, that's a no go. See, in an apartment, you can never.
You could never have that. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, you'd have to have a big ass house, like a big ass truck,
everything. Oh
big
my
everything
God.
for the dog.
They're huge.
They're huge.
Just the upkeep of those dogs.
No, but that was beautiful. His fur was beautiful. Like you could tell that they took care of the dog. I think that's really cool whenever people take care of their
Yeah,
dogs.
but I,
Do you have dogs?
I have a Doberman, and she's a smaller size for what Dobermans are. I think she's a lot of work for me already, but like she's not a lot of work. She's actually a really good dog, but it's like keeping up with her health, like washing her, showering her,
Yeah.
walking her.
Do you think that like a dog could be an investment or something that people spend a lot of money on?
I think so. I think they're really good companions and protect dogs. I mean, I've definitely woken up in the middle of the night. She's barking. It's because like there's really people out and around the house. And I live in a really safe neighborhood and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But you just never know. You can never be too sure. But she's very guarded. Which
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
No, like I've seen pictures of her, Amelia, right?
Yeah, Amelia.
She's cute. She's big, no? Like she's pretty big.
I think she's pretty small, but again, like my mom has like really little dogs. So when I see my mom's dogs, I'm like, oh, they're little babies. They're like 10-year-old dogs. But she's just big, like Dobermans are naturally big, but she's very guarded. Like she will walk around the whole house and like look at all the windows.
Does she like roam around whenever
Oh yeah,
you leave
like,
her?
like right now she's home in the whole house. Like,
that's how my
she
dog
has
is.
access to the whole house.
Milo is the king of the house. Like he'll bark at you like, man, like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, this is my house. So what do you mean?
So I'll leave the she will too. So I'll leave like the little gate open so she comes in and out when she pleases. And,
Yeah.
like, when she's bored, she'll like come say hello in my bedroom.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah, she's a
And
well behaved
honestly,
dog.
like dogs, they're badass. Like,
Yeah.
dogs are a great companion, and
I don't trust people who don't like dogs.
Yeah, I don't
I
either.
think it's a
I think it's,
interesting thing.
but I think the dogs feel, like if how you are as a person, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that, like I understand that there's people that have had like bad experiences with dogs, and they maybe they get
Yeah.
scared because of that, but most of the time it's like if you're
No.
like, oh no, I like dogs, or people
That's-
that leave their dogs outside.
Yeah, that's not.
No,
That's
that's not
not
me.
go.
That's not.
I
That's
think my
not.
whole family. I grew up with so many dogs. My mom has 5. My dad has 7. My brother has 2, and I have Amelia.
Do you splurge on your dog?
I do. She's a brat.
You do.
I think the reason I got her a new bed and silly beds, not
Oh, okay,
main
yeah,
beds for dogs.
Yeah, no, like I got one for Milo too, but I found it in Costco. Costco
Yeah,
had a
that's
good
what I got
deal.
in Costco. It was like on sale. I was like, oh, it's cool. You have silly
Yeah.
beauty rest for dogs. So I got her that.
But most of the time he sleeps in my bed. Like
Yeah,
he's like, man,
she'll like
whatever.
sleep on the couch. I'll wake up and like the couch is full of hair. I'm like, well, you're not supposed to be on the couch, but you're here now.
Yeah, and they look so peaceful when they're sleeping. You're like, oh,
she's
I don't want to.
oh, whatever.
They're getting their good beauty
Yeah.
sleep. That's good. But what is another thing that you think people like spend money on that you were like, man, like that's not a good investment, or that's not good? I mean, who am I to even say
Yeah.
what people should or shouldn't spend money on?
I think a very niche thing is collector's items, or what we consider to be the collector's items,
Like teeny
probably-
babies. You're still holding on to teeny babies?
I know.
You
That was beyond my time. But like stuff like that that is like okay, like that's not good. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I have friends that spend money on like baseball cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that those are. I mean, they can go for good money.
they can. I mean, you just have to like know how to do it.
Like you're not gonna spend your last paycheck on that.
No, it's not. I don't think it's something I would really try to like go for. Like, okay, this is a good investment. I think if you want to just really invest in just the stock market,
Like a
or
stock-
real estate, but that's
Real
a
estate.
really interesting.
So
thing.
so like let's say this. I'm a home buyer, right? Like I'm looking to buy a home, and did we lose? But I mean, this one's.
I think for me right now, like your mindset of like,
I wanna
okay,
buy a
like I'm
house.
doing this, I'm buying a house, like this is really happening for me.
Like putting it on a vision board, like I'm gonna
think-
buy a
yeah.
house. I'm gonna.
I think it's surreal. I think the process is stressful and.
But it's not as complicated as people think it is.
It's not complicated, but I think the process is stressful because it's emotional, right? There's a lot of like things that go with it, and anything that scares you is gonna be hard. But that's
And
what
then-
we're here for, That's what we're here for.
And then whenever you see the report, like the inspection report, you're like, oh my god,
the
like,
house
so
is
many-
falling apart. I'm like, no, that's just the verbiage they use,
Right.
and we go through it.
But it's like the worst inspection report that you see.
I think the worst one was a house that was built in 2023. Beautiful home, like 3,000 square feet. Very, very nice home. Like it was in the 500,000s. Very nice.
Okay.
So
So you expect a higher quality.
Yeah,
For
and the
a
house was
house.
nicely put together, right? And so the inspection report and all these foundation like comments came through. We're like, well, that's interesting because the house is fairly
Right.
new. It's like at that time it was only a 2-year-old house.
So it's not.
And we had the foundation person come, and the house is like foundation was truly failing.
Damn.
Like the
Like-
the separation from the actual wall to the actual floor was like big and deep, and like you would walk.
Could you
through the
see
house.
it as whenever
You
you
couldn't really see
whenever
it
you walked the
until
house?
you-
I was like, oh, now you have the report. You see all.
Yeah, like everything was wonky. Like you just feel like you were like going up and down levels throughout the whole house.
Damn.
And then it
was like a
brand
maze.
new house, right? Yeah, it was like a
going
whole
up and
maze.
down.
And so a lot of builders offer like a 10-year warranty on foundations, and they're like, no, like that's not true. Like this house is in perfect condition. We're like, dude, like
Look at the report.
there's a machine they throw on the floor to show you
Yeah, the levels of
the levels of the, and it was like the numbers were so off from each corner of the house.
Because there's like some variation you're gonna have.
Yeah.
Like
But this is like
Just-
a 2-year-old house.
yeah, that's
And
crazy.
it's not, and it wasn't, it was in a pretty interesting price point because it's a very higher end price point. And it was still like,
for sure.
no, like there's really issues. That was mind blowing to me because even for me and the people involved in the area, we were like, this is like a new house. How can it
Yeah,
be?
why would it be?
But it was built that way.
I mean,
It hasn't sold yet, by the way.
Yeah, but it's still on the market.
For years, actually. It's been a while.
But it's crazy because like, why wouldn't you do it right?
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm getting paid for whatever job, so I'm just gonna do the bare minimum.
Yeah,
and go.
that's insane. But like, I mean, just for reference, my house is like 60 years old.
But it's nice.
It's not. Yeah, but like, and then I had some foundation issues, and that's why I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. And then when I had someone come and check it out, the same guy that checked the other house out, he was like, actually, it's fine, and you only need to add, like, they call it was piers because it's a foundation, like 2 piers, and it takes care of it, and it did. And even then, like, you wouldn't feel the difference. So from a almost 6-year-old house to be like that to like a brand new 2-year-old house, like the foundation was built very, very wrong.
Okay.
And it's like you wouldn't think about that because you see like, okay, it's a newer home.
It's a newer home, and
So
that's the
it's
price
good,
point.
right? Yeah, and the price point is not like it's just a cheaply made house. I mean, clearly it's
So more expensive is not usually more better.
I don't think it applies to this one, but I don't know what. But also the builder was the owner, so I don't know if he just did it like whichever way. And you would think, right, if you're building your own house, you want to make yourself a really nice home. I guess not. I don't know.
What is that? What is there's a saying? It's like house of a carpenter or something like that. House of a like constructor or something. That it like they do the work for other people, but they don't take care of their own.
Is that a thing?
Like, I think that there's a saying about
Oh,
it.
okay. I don't know. I would think if you had a certain trade, you would do the best. Like build houses. I will build myself a really nice house.
Yeah, but that's crazy. So like your experience, more expensive is not usually better, or at least in that property.
I think that I just think that they did a really bad job with that specific home. I think quality.
We'll put it right here. Like this is the house.
Yeah. No, the house is still in the market. I think you have to do your due diligence, right, and of course have a good inspection done and really ask questions. And
what's the one thing that you tell your clients? Walk away from it completely. Like it's not even worth like.
I mean, I'm just honest with it. I think just being like very disclosing everything, like this is the issues. This is what we could, ask for.
So in that house,
what would you do?
In that house, you told them, hey, like
I would, yeah, because we got quotes and everything. They were considering like fixing it, and we're like, no. And they were like, well, it'll be like this amount. I was like, honestly, at that price point that you're in, because if you're spending $500,000 for a house plus.
And then you're gonna spend so much for the foundation.
Yeah, it just wasn't worth that. And they were like very adamant that the house had no issues, and we're like showing them the report, and they're like, no, like that's wrong. I'm like, okay, well, if the inspector's wrong, then let's go call it.
Yeah, get another inspector.
Yeah,
sure that
but it does come a time where it's like, this is a whole situation. It's not the best. And then you just make sure that we educate them, and they take that decision. But I would tell you, like, I will personally not proceed, but you never know. I've had it a couple times with the clients, like, no, I want to continue on and move on. But, like, at least they know what they're getting themselves into. It's not like no one lied or no one kept any information from them.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like, all you can do is be honest with them and tell them what you would do, but it's ultimately their call, what they want to do or not. But, yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for being part of the podcast. Let's give a round of applause to Lazaro.
Guys, thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I think
we talked a lot. Actually.
We talked a lot, but it's good, and I think that this is the better way of getting to know people and like putting stuff out there.
There's a lot. A lot of times we do little reels and videos in 15-20 seconds. It's sometimes not enough to really
to get to get in a conversation, right? Connect with people. But yeah, thank you so much.